Okay, so welcome to week 2. The course overview, last week we did the origin of the tarot and the major arcana. This week we're doing the major arcana cards 1 through 4, actually, not 1 through 5. Next week on December the 4th, we'll do cards 5 through 10, hopefully. Week 4, we'll do the court cards, and week 5, we'll do creating spreads, and that's also going to be a week if we need to cover back any information, because I'm thinking we may have to split up week 3. And then maybe we can have some type of commencement party, maybe on January the 1st, possibly on New Year's Day, start New Year's off with some type of luncheon, maybe get together, exchange some readings, meet and greet in person. If anybody's interested in spearheading that event, that's why I put in question mark. So if anyone here in Atlanta wants to spearhead that party, feel free to do so. If you're gifted with event planning, or you gifted with that ability to create a space for a lot of fun, and I can help you with that. All right, so hopefully someone will be interested in doing that. All right, so here we go. Intuitive Tarot, week 2, the Minor Arcana. So the Minor Arcana represents the soul's unfoldment and mastery through the human experience, the totality of it. Where the Major Arcana more so focuses and highlights on the spiritual experiences and our spiritual evolution, the Minor more so begins to focus on the unfoldment and the processing of those dirty human day-to-day experiences. The Minor Arcana is divided into 4 suits, and there's 14 cards per suit. So there's 10 cards. The ace is number 1 through 10, and then we have the 4 court cards: the page, the knight, the queen, and the king. There's wands, pentacles, cups, and swords. The Minor Arcana is composed of astrology and numerology. The whole tarot is. The entire tarot is composed of astrology and numerology. But the Minor Arcana really focuses on and borrows from the themes of astrology, the 4 elements, and numerology from the Kabbalah origin. Okay, so the numerology is a 10-fold tarot. It's numbers 1 through 10. The Minor Arcana uses both numerology and astrology, Western-based astrology, and situational imagery of universal human experiences. So the pictures on the Minor Arcana represents situations that everyone should be able to identify with or has some experience in our human experience. Again, the numbers 1 through 10 are numerology meanings, but mostly based from the Kabbalah. So we all have different systems that assign different meanings, different numbers. The tarot is mostly gathered, or mostly is mostly in alignment with the Kabbalah. If you study the Kabbalah numerology meanings, they fit most closely to the tarot. But any system of numerology can be applied to the tarot. Again, like last week, the rules of engagements for this week is to remain to be open, share, and hold your questions through the presentation till the end for the question and answer time. All right. All right, so 1 through 10, tarot again is about the numerology, the basis of understanding and really mastering the Minor Arcana is understanding the numbers 1 through 10. 1 through 10 in the tarot is the process of our own differentiation, okay? The image of this seed best illustrates it. So that seed as a one single entity, it begins to expand itself. It spreads out its roots first before it becomes a strong, stable force, ultimately becoming a single, strong, standing tree. And the Minor Arcana is the reflection of that process. It's a symbol of that process. The ace represents the seed, and the king, the final external force in the world outside the soul, is represented by the king and the queen. They have gone through the dirt of the human experience. They have become solidified. They have become mature and hardened, and they stand erect on their throne, having mastered and conquered that element or that function of that suit. It's the way how we try every facet of our personality. We interact with the dirtiness of our human beingness, the dirtiness of emotions, the dirtiness of the world of sensation, the dirtiness of the world of trusting your faith, the world of the mind. And then we begin into a sense of perfection and wholeness, which again is pictured by the king and the queens. And it's all about becoming a unified personality. So we start with an ace, which is just one, and then we end with a king or queen, which is also ended by holding one of the elements. So you start with one cup and then you end with one cup, but you've gone through a whole experience of multifaceted functions and mastery in that process. And at the end, you become a strong and unified, single-focused standing tree or personality. All right, so the 4 astrological elements or the 4 psychological functions, the 4 elements that the Minor Arcana is based out of is earth, which are the pentacles, water, which are the cups, air, which are the swords, and fire, which are the wands. According to Carl Jung, for those who are psychology majors, who have studied any form of psychology, such as the Myers-Briggs personality test, the Myers-Briggs personality test that was derived by Carl Jung was inspired by the astrological elements in the tarot. So the pentacles represents the sensation, cups represents feeling, swords represents thinking, intuition represents the fire and the faith. The extrovert and the introverts in the Myers-Briggs test represents the queens is the introverts and king represents the extroverts. So when you're doing a Myers-Briggs personality test and you're focusing on those, the SPT, the judging and sensing, those are all aspects of these 4 astrological elements, and they play out in different personality testing. So in the language that I'll be using as we talk about the Minor Arcana is I'll be either saying the earth suit or the sensation suit, the pentacles, the feelings for the cups, thinking for the swords, or intuition or faith for the fire element. So a lot of people aren't aware that the tarot not only has ancient origin, but it also has been a basis for some of our modern psychological sciences, especially when it comes to personality testing. The tarot was actually was the first basis in science of personalities.
Wow.
Okay. All right. Pentacles, earth, sensation. All right. Let's talk about the pentacles of the earth sign. All right. Pentacles, earth represents being grounded in practical reality, solid plans and ideas, seeking a real 3D experience. The reason why the function of sensation is associated with the pentacle and the earth sign is because it represents the 5 senses. The pentacle, that represents that coin with the 5 star points, represents the 5 senses: sight, touch, sound, feeling, and taste. So that pentacle is represented by a coin because that coin allows you to have a 3D experience. So you think about money, you think about a coin, you think about being able to see all that you can see, hear all that you can hear, smell all you can smell, taste all you can taste, and touch all you can touch. The more money you have, the deeper those experiences are going to be. Hello, somebody. All right. All right. And the earth signs that we are familiar with are the Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. Shout out to all the Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorns holding it down for the rest of us. All right. The wands represented by what I call the fire element, not what I call it is the fire element, what I call faith. Also in the psychological function is what Carl Jung refers to as intuition or the intuitive function. It represents the miraculous possibilities, magic, vitality, enthusiasm. Internal experiences can be great, okay? So when it comes to the swords and the cups, those are internal experiences. But when it comes to dreams and visions and stuff, you got to manifest those things. And so when the external and the internal come together, they're creating magic. Fire signs get things to happen, make things happen, all right? They are the electricity that creates that enhances that physical world experience. The fire zodiac signs are the Aries, the Leo, and the Sagittarius. Cups, water, emotions, and feelings. This is the function of feeling and emotion embodied in the cup and water. It is the most unstable of the of the zodiac elements. It is always flowing and changing and moving. The idea behind the minor arcana when it comes to the cups, it's always asking, or the emotion function is always asking, how do I feel about this? And each of these elements represents our reaction from what has shown up in our human experience. For the air sign, it's going to be, what do I think about this situation? For the cup sign, it is, how do I feel about this situation? For the earth sign is, how do I build, or what do I do with this situation? And for the fire sign is, what magic can we make from this situation? Filling in cups is very, very important. When it comes to our evolutionary progress in this physical world, it is feeling, not thinking, that is the guiding force of our evolutionary development. It is when you are going through some type of pain, some type of deep emotional inner conflict, is when you are going to experience the most growth in evolution. And our water signs are Scorpio, Pisces, and our Scorpio, Pisces, and Cancer. All right, let's talk about the swords, or the air. So the swords are the picture in the minor arcana for the air sign, representing the thought or thinking function. The air sign in the minor arcana, or just in general, we're always analyzing our situation. We're analyzing and trying to reason what has showed up. Where the cup is saying, what do I feel about this situation? The air signs are saying, what do I think about this situation? What does the situation mean? How can I make meaning of this situation? How can I connect all the dots of this situation? If you know a good air sign, you know they'll make meaning and connect 1,000 dots and add in and synthesize a whole bunch of information. The air and the air signs and the air suit is the guards of communication. Ideas are passed through the air, and our thoughts are happening in the airwaves. So ideas, communication is the assimilation of ideas and thoughts. Okay, so we went through all of the bases. I gave y'all a quick synopsis of the 4 elements. Of cups is feelings, the wands are fire, pentacles are earth, and the swords represent the air. Okay, so let's begin with the aces. The aces, again, ace is the number 1. It represents the singularity force, a seed of unlimited possibilities. The beginning of things, it's the start. It means a great capacity, something that has a very great potential. And the aces always involve a hand. On each of the images of the ace cards, it involves a hand, signifying that all the good gifts come down from heaven. All experiences that you experience in the physical world are gifts that have come to you from heaven. So that is the imagery of the hand handing out the element. And once again, you see the image of the seed, the potential. You see how first it spreads its roots underneath the soil before it becomes a strong, stable force in the world. And so the minor arcana cards 1 through 4 really focus on your inner stuff that's happening inside you. And then as you build up and go through cards 4 through 10, you're focusing on the outer experiences. And then you get to the page, the knight, the queen of cups. It's all about how you present yourself to the world, how you have mastered the physical world. Okay, so let's get on this journey. Let's talk about the Ace of Pentacles. Here we go. We got the hand coming out of the sky, giving us an opportunity to manifest the most perfect environment, symbolized by the lush garden, the beautiful blue sky, the flowers, the mountains in the back. This is a card that makes you feel really good. You can smell the flowers. You can feel the heat in comparison to the cold mountains in the back. You can see so much beauty, and you can experience everything. It's all about the capacity to enjoy and have it all. All your 5 senses are engaged when it comes to the Ace of Pentacles. And the ace represents an opportunity to touch, smell, taste, sound, and look at something pleasing and desired. It's the opportunity for a real 3D, enjoyable, perfect environmental experience. It's all about the physical, all about the physical world, physical health, enjoying the most perfect physical health, enjoying the most perfect, secure, stable relationship, functional relationship. We're not talking about does that relationship feel good to you, but does your relationship at work, does your partnership with your spouse, with your friends, do they provide you with a stable, harmonious, perfect, enjoyable environment, physical-wise, all right? Let's talk about the Ace of Cups. Here it is. This image is symbolizing my cup runneth over, representing the Holy Communion. As you see the picture of the dove descending with the wafer that you take at communion. If you grew up going to communion in church, there's a wafer in this cup. This represents the Lord's Supper of being filled with the presence of the Spirit. This is the most spiritual card, one of the very spiritual cards, and it represents the capacity for deep feelings or deep communion, worship. And it's the potential for a very potent biochemical emotional reaction. So the Ace of Cups is signifying something deep, something chemical, emotional is bound to happen. Okay, if it's upright, we can get excited because we know, man, this is a card that you want to see when you're asking about the potential of a romantic partnership. Or if you're asking, how will you enjoy a new job? Oh, man, if you get an Ace of Cups, there's going to be some great potential to feel really good, to have an experience a deep, deep sense of emotion and just all types of good feelings going on inside you. All right, Ace of Swords. This is the capacity or the seed that represents there is a large potential and capacity for mental willpower to be present and to work and cut through the illusion. This isn't a very beautiful card. It is very arid. It's just a barren land, a bunch of mountains, and it represents just how you've got to cut through the fog to hold on to your vision and see the truth. And it represents the will that you need to process and to handle lots of data and information. So an Ace of Swords represents there's a lot of information that you're going to have to get out of something. So if you get the Ace of Swords when it comes to romantic relationships, I'm going to tell you, hey, it's going to be some challenging things. You're going to have to really work through your personal biases, your personal prejudice, and you're going to have to really be careful not to be judgmental. And you're going to have to be careful to make sure you see the real complete picture of what's really going on. It doesn't mean that's negative. It just means that it's going to be a mentally challenging relationship, but the potential for mental stimulation and mental growth will be present. Or if you get the Ace of Swords in any venture, it represents something where there's just going to be a lot of beautiful mind at play. And if you love information, if you love knowledge, you love learning about yourself, hey, then you're going to love this relationship. All right, Ace of Wands. This is marshaling the function of faith or intuition. It's the potential for magic and miracles. You know, they say our faith can move mountains, all right? It's the potential of a manifestation of something great, a great power. And it represents the release of vital life force or the animating force of life. So if we notice this wand, it is sprouting, okay? It's sprouting, although it's not connected to the earth. And that just represents that animating force that brings to life, that spark of life. This is also the phallic symbol. So this is also representing of a penis that brings forth life, or it represents a pen that you can write and manifest what you want to desire, okay? But pen, penis is connected, if y'all haven't ever made that connection before back in elementary school or middle school. Or whenever you made, whenever. All right. So it's all about the creators of life. And this is the creation of life that is potential. Again, we see the hand coming out of the sky saying, hey, there's a potential for you. Here's an opportunity for you to experience some great life. If you get this card when you ask about your romantic relationship or your partnership, I'm going to tell you that if you don't want babies, you better be on birth control. And if you do want children, you're going to have a possibility to have a lot of fruitful marriage. Also, you're going to have a lot of fun and a lot of fire and passion will be present in the potential of that relationship. Or if you ask about work, I'm going to say it's going to really generate a lot of creativity for you. The potential is there. Remember, the key word for all aces is potential and seed. It doesn't mean it's present, but it means it's there in the potential and the possibility, or there's capacity for that element to be present and to be fully realized. Okay? I guess it'll take a good time to stop and do a question and answer. Any questions about the aces before we move? Okay, let's go to the number 2. All right, 2 is the harmonizing and equalizing force. All right, it balances things out. 2 of Pentacles. Let's start with the 2 of Pentacles. Balancing and shifting of our resources. So here this figure, he has 2 coins. He's got to figure out how to make it work. He's got to figure out how to make $1 out of 15 cents, okay? It's also creates some lingering emotional residue of turbulence. Even though this is about the physical world, the pentacles, we see what stands out in the background are these high waves tossing and turning these boats. Because whenever you got to choose when limiting resources and you got to make some things happen materialistically, it always generates some type of emotional turbulence or some emotional residue is going to be present, because you're going to have to figure out how to do this to do this, how to build this without doing that. If you want to build your house and get your credit together, you may have to downsize. That may cause some emotional turbulence. If you want to choose between the long-term loyalties of a friendships, represents the physical safety and security, you may have to choose one or the other. There's going to be some lingering emotional turbulence. But the 2 of Pentacles is about balancing or shifting of resources, making things work, figuring out how to do it. All right, juggling all the tasks, working multiple jobs. All right, and again, when something's got to go, it's always going to create some type of emotional turbulence.
Hey, Adam, what about when it's reversed?
We're going to talk about reverse cards later, but reverse cards may mean that you don't. It could represent too much. So, okay, I'll just answer this. When it comes to reverse cards symbolize 2 things, meaning the energy is too strong, meaning it's turned up too much. So think about a dial. So if we get it to, whenever it's reversed, it means it's turned up too much, meaning there's too much shifting going on. There's too much managing. All right, how does too much shifting and too much stuff feel like? It makes you feel scattered. It makes you feel like you're losing control. All right, if it's turned down too much, that means that you're not fully balancing things and you're still maybe deceiving yourself because you may feel underwhelmed. You may be feeling overwhelmed, but you just need to turn it up a little bit to balance things out. You know, maybe you have to work 2 jobs, all right, to make ends meet. And maybe it's turned down because you're resisting working 2 jobs or you're resisting doing something else. If it's turned up too much, you're trying to do way too much. So reverse cards always represents something is either too present or it's too little. All right. 2 of Wands, the gathering of the vital strength. You're not yet in activity. So you see the figure here. He's standing on his balcony. He's standing on his castle. He's not doing anything yet, but he has the world in his hand. So we know he has gathered to him all the resources that he needs. He's dressed very royally, and he will be ready to do whatever he needs to do. He has what he needs. He is just about to move forward and launch something. We know that this figure is overseeing a great wide potential. He has a globe in his hand, and we know, man, he will not be stopped at whatever he decides to do. The 2 of Wands means you have options. The 2 of Wands means that not only do you have options, but you have every resource, everything that you need to make it happen. It's just a matter of doing it. It's a matter of choosing. Do you want to take the Batmobile? Do you want to take the Batmo plane? Do you want to take the Bat scooter? Do you want to take the Bat hanger? I don't know. But it means you have all you want. This card always makes me think of Bruce Wayne when he says, which vehicle should we take? He's not fighting yet, but he had all the resources he needs to go fight. okay? But he's got to choose which one. But best believe when he hops in whatever vehicle he hops into, somebody's ass is about to go get whooped, okay? And that's what that Two of Wands represents, the power, the potential that you're harnessing, and you're ready to go out and kill it. Very powerful and beautiful card. All right. Two of Cups. Two persons are always better than one. Two individuals bring about something greater, okay? It is the transformative and creativeness of the result of two mutual feelings coming together. When you feel good about something, you're passionate about it, I'm passionate about it, we come together, we're going to create something very beautiful, all right? When you think about two lovers coming together, they both feeling each other, they're going to make some beautiful babies, a love child, a beautiful house, a beautiful creation. And we see the image of the cherubim or some angelic being representing that some divine union has taken place to bring these two young souls together, and they're going to share their feelings, they're going to share their cups, and something amazing is going to happen. Some type of partnership, some pact, some contract, some union is going to come out of this, and something's going to lead to something very good and beautiful. All right. We got Two of Swords. Two of Swords is a little difficult now. Two of Swords, when you got two forces of thinking, they cancel each other out. Two of Cups is beautiful. Two of Wands is beautiful. Two of Pentacles is kind of tricky, but that Two of Swords, you don't want two minds. You can't have two chiefs. The mind is the builder. Your mind is the leader of the body. All right? And when you got two different minds happening, when you got two heads on one, you're just going to cancel each other out, and it is going to create a sense of grief, panic, and anxiety. The thinking mind is always moving. So in another mind, it stops it. Your mind is always spinning wheels. You heard the analogy. Our mind is spinning wheels, spinning wheels. But if another mind come in and start spinning wheels, it just stops. And this card, this person is just stopped, right? They're guarded. They're in the dark. They're blindfolded. They don't want to look anymore. They don't want to be able to, they don't want to really look and see what is out there. And nothing is really bad happening to the individual externally that we can see, but we can tell they are not in a pleasant place. It's almost as like they're saying, don't touch me because I'm close to the edge. I'm trying not to lose my head, okay? That is the Two of Swords, all right? The Two of Swords is singing that song. They're on the verge of losing their mind because they got too many conflicting thoughts happening, and they don't want to choose. Because for them, it's like, that's evil, I don't want that, and I don't want that. I'm just going to sit here and be miserable. Please don't come close to me, all right? But you got to choose one. Yeah, they both are, neither option is beautiful, but you got to choose one. You got to keep it moving, even though this figure is trying not to move. And they're in a very emotional, messy place because of those two minds. All right. Any questions about the number two? All right. Let's keep it moving to the number 3. 1, 2, 3. Let's go. All right. Everyone is associated with knowing that the number 3 represents action. Let's go. Now we're about to make some real movement. 3 is on fire. Okay. 3 represents real movement. It's about completion. Something has been completed, and we're ready to go. We're ready for initiation, all right? That seed is about to break through that earth, or the seed has just broken through the ground, and here we go. We hit the sunlight. We're about to become a full-grown tree in about 5 years. Something is about to be actualized. We're about to reveal what the seed was. We didn't know what the seed was before, but at 3, we now know. We know what it is. We know this is a pear tree of corn stalk. Well, we may not know, but the agriculturists, they'll look at that little weed and they'll be able to say, oh, this is going to be a corn stalk, or this is going to be an oak tree. It's going to be a peach tree. So 3, we now know something's about to be actualized. Something is really going to happen. So what happens when you take that number 3 and you put it to the Pentacles? Okay, well, when you put the 3 into the form of a 3 of Pentacles, it is going to create an increase in the external sense. All right, 3 of Pentacles represents that increase, okay? It's the undertaking of something important is going to happen. Some form that's going to require some deep degree of communication, compromise, and cooperation. When you look at the figures in the Three of Pentacles, you see they're working to build some major structure. One person is a hired craftsman. He has the tools in his hand. Other two people have drawn the blueprint. Now, the two of them came together and they said, man, you want to build a church? I want to build a church. You want to build a school? I want to build a school. You want to start a business? I want to start a business. They drew the business plan up, but they needed this person over here to actually come and build it. And the three of them together, they're going to build something very nice. But it's going to require some good communication, as we see here in this card. They're talking to him. We don't know what they're saying, but they could be saying something like, that is not what we drew. That is not the blueprint. And he could be saying to them, do you want me to do this or not? All right. So we know there's got to be some type of compromise and cooperation that can happen when it comes to the Three of Pentacles. But the Three of Pentacles represents an upgrade in working together to build something, perfecting something, making something better. This is a card I often see for people going back to school to better themselves, to upgrade their awareness. This is also a card I see when people are doing really well in their job or they're about to get a job. Also, it's a card I see for marriage. This is my card for marriage. When someone's asked about a relationship and I get a Three of Pentacles, for me it represents this is going to be a very healthy building relationship. It's going to lead to a whole lot more than just two people sharing their feelings with each other. This is actually the card for marriage. Communication, compromise, and cooperation. The Two of Cups is just the card for people playing with their feelings with each other. But the Three of Pentacles is about real marriage. All right? Three of Cups. When you take the element of three and you bring that increase into joy and emotional energy, you get real companionship. You find yourself being really supported. These arms are crossing this picture. These three ladies are turning it up. They're living it up. They're celebrating, and they're all in joint arms with each other. This represents good feelings, renewed emotional strength that you get from feeding off of other people. It feels really good when you know that you're supported, when you know that people have your back and you have their back. It's that complete realization and completion of bringing together all the cups. There was two cups, and now there's three. Three people always bring even more joy and more excitement when you're having fun, right? When it comes to lovers, leave them alone. But when it comes to having fun, when there's three people on a trip, man, we can really turn up then, right? So Three of Cups is all about sharing in the joys and the highs of life. And then that Three of Wands. The Three of Wands is the strength of the dynamism is on the move. The Two of Wands, he was still standing still. But the Three of Wands, he is embarking on a journey. But the Three of Wands requires you have all that you need, but you got to be very smart. So we follow the analogy of Batman and the Two of Wands. He's out. He's about to go fight some crime. Batman is standing on top of the roof. He's seeing the Joker. He's seeing the criminals. But he's got to be very smart about how he's going to move. He has to be very sure that there's nothing distorting his vision or he has any illusions. He's got to see the whole big picture. He's got to see the beginning. He's got to see the end in the beginning. Okay? The Three of Wands represents having that large foresight to be able to know how you're going to make the magic happen. Relying on that inner intuition, vital force to help you see the end in the beginning. You rely on that force to help you realize exactly how this can go, and you're ready to go jump in there and do it. We see him crossing the boat, the horizon, the ocean, all these boats that signify he's about to embark on something, but it's so light, it's so much sunlight in here, he can see far on the horizon, but he may not ever come back. And we don't know what he's going to go do. And then we got the nasty Three of Swords. All right, so why are the swords cards so challenging? Why are all the sword cards always so horrific? Because that mind, when you don't have control of that mind, it creates hell for your life. And the mind left alone makes our lives miserable. Just relying on your intellect and your knowledge alone, it will kill and rob you of life. So what happens when you have three minds, three swords? Well, what happens is the basis of this card is the fact that our mind, it always projects a reality that is usually prone to leave us disappointed. right? Nothing is ever as delicious and as great as your mind makes it out to be, right? Our mind creates, not only does our mind like to embellish and make us feel that something is going to be so much great, and we always visualize our future or visualize ourselves in roles that are always going to be a little extra. So we always are setting, our mind is always setting ourselves up for disappointment. And then our mind creates so many unspoken expectations on everything, right? We have all these unspoken expectations on anything that we embark upon. And we can't do anything but find ourselves disappointed. All those unspoken expectations are going to lead to disappointment. And when the truth is finally realized and the complete picture has become seen, remember 3 is about completion. It's about things are about to happen. Now that it has manifested, we realize, damn, this was not what I wanted. Damn, they are not who I thought they were going to be. Oh my God, I totally ignored all those red flags, and you are not who you say you're going to be. So we feel disappointed, anger, betrayed, or in grief. And this is what the 3 of Swords represents. It just represents those experiences where your mind has had you in some type of ignorance, or you had some illusions that you couldn't be hurt by a person, or a person wouldn't betray you, or something that you did not expect. And when it happens, you feel angered, disappointment, betrayed, or in grief. All right. Any questions about the 3s before we move to 4s? Look at that 3 of Swords card. Ugh, I hate that card. All right, the number 4. We're moving now. The number 4, we're moving into extroversion. Cards Ace, the 1s through 3 really deal with your inner experiences, okay? But the 4 is the beginning of the extroversion. Breaking out of the ground even more. We're unfolding ourselves, and it is our reaction to receiving mercy, okay? Because when you get into the world, when you're extrovert, you're going to need to rely on the helping hand of others. You're going to need to rely on the helping hand of another person to save you, to catch you, to rescue you, okay? You can't be fighting crime by yourself. Batman ain't do it alone. He either had Commissioner Gordon, he had Robin, or he had his butler Alfred, okay? So you're going to have to receive some help when you get out there in the world. So the number 4 represents forgiveness, forgiving something, right? Receiving something, receiving mercy, receiving love, or just having a vision of some super nice influence in your life, all right? So what do you guess that looks like for the 4 of Pentacles? Well, it is a very stingy man holding on to his coins, because usually when we're immature and we haven't matured yet, when we get stuff materialistically, it creates attachments to us, okay? So as soon as you get that new car, ain't nobody driving that new car. If it's your old car, everybody can drive that. But that new car, ain't nobody touching that. You don't want people in that new car. Okay? When we have received these beautiful good things, we hold on to it, but it also has a hold on to us. So you see this figure in this 4 of Pentacles, he is holding on to that which was given to him. And he's holding on tight. He's holding on to it so tight it's under his feet. And he's saying, this is mine. This is mine. He's like a 2-year-old. It's mine. It's mine. It's all of mine. But he will not be able to receive any more because his hands are so completely wrapped around this one little coin. So he's so attached to what he has. So the 4 of Pentacles represents you receive goodness from the universe. You receive goodness from other people, but you don't want to give it up. You get attached to it. You stuck in it. This is a card of the ultimate selfishness. It's the dog not with the bone. The Aesop fable where the dog drops his bone because he's trying to bark at the other bone in his reflection in the mirror. And we got to remember, what we hold on to, we also get held by it, and we get held up by it. Don't ever forget that. What you're holding on to will held you up in life. So you gotta always let go. Always let go. If this card is reversed, sometimes it means you're being too stingy. Sometimes it means that you're letting go too much stuff and you're not holding on to anything that's been given to you. So sometimes, again, that reverse may mean there's too little, that you're not holding on enough of what God has given you. And then other times you're holding on to it too tightly. All right, we take that 4 and we put it into the 4 of cups. Well, we get another sense of stinginess and disillusionment. But what happened was that 3 of cups was so good, that 3 of cups, you had your best friends, y'all were living it up, but life happens, all right? The good times don't always last, right? And so what happened is we get into this state of disillusionment where we say, I don't want no more friends. I don't want no new experiences. I don't want that. I don't want this. I'm happy what I got. And then in this figure, what this guy is saying here, he's saying, look, if you can't promise me that this feeling good experience is going to last, I don't want it. Because I've already had 3 good feeling experiences and they emptied out. And I don't want to just get another one and get all my hopes in and get all attached. And then it's just going to run out on me. So he's in this ambivalence, in this feeling of like, I don't trust it, and I know what I want, but I don't want to trust it. So he's in this weird state of resisting something being offered to him or her, but we don't know. It could be something good. Maybe it's time for him to quit going to every party, right? Maybe it is time for him to stay home this time. Maybe he don't need to go to every vacation somebody call him to. Maybe he does need to turn down some new opportunities to feel good, right? So this card is neutral. Sometimes things might be coming for you and you may need to say, I don't need another experience like that. I'm good. I'm just going to chill out here and enjoy what I got. Or I'm going to reflect and focus and go inward to myself for my own sense of feeling good. So if this card is reversed too little, I would say maybe you're ignoring things. If it's turned up too much, I would say maybe you go, you need to take advantage of some opportunities. But again, this is about rejecting opportunities. So the ultimate, this is when you reject something. When I see this card, a lot of times I'll ask the person, hey, did you just turn down a new job opportunity? And they say, yeah, I did. Or if I see it sometimes, I say, hey, are you trying to get somebody to be with you or be in a relationship with you? But this is a card about rejecting of opportunities, okay, and being in your feelings and not wanting to budge and being resistant. And the basis of it is, again, you have had a good time in the past. You had some good cups. You had some good feelings, but it didn't last. That's just life on earth. But now you feel in your feelings and you don't want to go through it again. But guess what? You got to live again. You got to get some new friends. You go to your new job. I don't want nobody. I don't want to be friend nobody in my new job. Yes, it's okay. You need to make new friends with your new job. Okay. And the 4 of Wands, this is perfected work. This is a harvest festival. This is being recognized for the fruits of your labor and good work. This is you're giving the $200 here, and you can now pass go. The 4 of Wands represents that experience in that Monopoly game where you win, you've gone through it, and you collect the $200 and you can go. This is when you're giving the reward. When you brought in your fruit of your labor, you've come back. This is Batman being recognized with his statue of being the hero and the savior of Gotham City. He's defeated the Joker, and now they've honored him, giving him a key to the city and giving him his big flashlight of his symbol. So the 4 of Wands represents when you are giving recognition, when you are giving celebration, when you're giving a party. This is a card where I see when people are being thrown a party or being thrown some type of anniversary, some type of celebration. It's when someone is giving you a wedding, even when people don't pay for their weddings. You know, a lot of times I see this for weddings, especially the weddings where someone may be doing it for another person, like a father may be paying for his daughter's wedding or vice versa or anything of that. But the 4 of Wands, when you are giving celebration and you're giving recognition for the fruits of your labor and your hard work, you're giving that advance, that scholarship money, or you're giving, sometimes I do see this card a lot of times in relationships when couples have come together and people are bringing them a lot of wedding gifts or at a wedding reception. This actually is a card that I normally see for a wedding reception. because you're giving gifts for coming together for another person. But the 4 is all about giving, 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 giving. All right. Any questions about 1 through 4? The numbers, how the numbers work, the images. We have some moments for question and answer before we break out into our groups. How many of you all have been familiar with this numerology system of the tarot? Was this new to most of you all?
This was new to me.
I've had, yeah. I've had readings before. So.
And it's so funny. Is anybody else thinking like, I've never even gotten that card? Like I've never gotten that 4 of Wands card ever.
I'm sure you have. You probably don't remember it.
No.
Yeah, I don't know. The thing that blew me away is because I'm so into like the whole Myers-Briggs and all that, and just to hear the connection to that, like I'm like, wow. And the personality types and so forth.
Mm-hmm. Tara just asked, does the 4 of Wands represents twin flames? You know, I can see how the 4 of Wands could represent twin flames. And I definitely guess it could. So it's not a no, it doesn't, but I definitely feel like it could, along with other cards. But I definitely could see how that could represent twin flames. Like I definitely see how it could represent coming together and producing something great with your twin flame. Like a partnership of coming together and being honored for working together with your twin flame. All right. Thank y'all for the feedback. Anybody else about 1 through 4 of the elements and the cards?
Does it have to be about 1 through 4? Can it be about another question?
Sure, Trevor.
Sorry, I came late. My apologies. So I missed 1 through 4. I have a couple of questions about, since doing this from last week, can I ask it now or should I do that later?
We'll do it later.
Okay.
Cause we had that review in the beginning, but it's we'll have another in the end. Okay, Trevor.
Okay.
All right. Any questions about 1 through 4? All right. Well, let's break up into groups. And who does not have cards with them?
I still did not get a chance to get cards. I still have my angel cards.
Okay. They worked well with you the last time.
Okay.
Who?
Hi, this is Tara. I don't have cards either. This is my first time here.
Okay, welcome to the call, Tara, for the first time. I want to know who does not have cards so I can make sure that they are in a group. Okay. All right, so I am going to, what I'm going to do is I'm going to break y'all out into groups.
So we're mixing the cards all up now?
Yeah, you can mix them up. You can mix them all up how you want to.
Okay.
I'm going to put y'all in breakout rooms really quickly. So this is what we're going to do. I'm going to let it automatically assign y'all the groups. I'm not going to choose to do it. It's going to create the rooms for you all. I want you to introduce yourself to your partner. Maybe share a little bit about your background with the tarot. But no. Don't share too much information because they're going to read you, and I want them to be biased. Just give them your birth date, your birth month, and day, and your email address.
Okay.
Because the email address is a personal thing. So if somebody, if someone connects to the energy of the email address, it's only you. You're the only person with an email address. All right. So I'm going to try to put the people who don't have cards in the same group. And someone just logged off. Let's see. Someone is chatting me. Okay, Lisa says she won't participate because her mic is not working. But you can still stay on and participate. You can just listen, okay? All right, and type in. All right, I'm gonna break y'all up into groups and introduce yourselves. And I'm gonna give y'all 3 minutes to introduce yourselves and have a 3 a cup experience. And then we're gonna come back. And then when I bring y'all back, I am gonna walk you through how you're gonna read for your partners. Okay, so you're gonna introduce yourself really quickly, toast it up, have a 3 a cup experience, and then we're gonna come back and I'm gonna walk y'all through giving them a holiday reading. Okay?
Hey,
I'll
Addam,
give y'all 3 minutes. Yeah.
did you add me? My phone died.
No, not yet. Not yet.
Okay.
I'm about to create the rooms right now. All y'all gonna do is just introduce yourselves, keep information minimal so they won't be any bias. Give them permission to read you, get permission to be read, and then we're gonna come back and I'm gonna walk you through how to read them. And then I'm gonna put y'all back in the groups so y'all can exchange and share what y'all got for each other. All right, here we go. Okay, welcome back, everybody. Did y'all toast it up? Have a good three of
No.
cups experience?
Well, we had a 2 of Cups experience. So that was cool.
All right, well, good. I hope y'all all had a good experience. I hope y'all all got permission to read for your client or your person with consider them your client. All right, so here we go. We're going to pull 3 cards for your partner. If you're in a group of 3, there are only 2 y'all have. Only one of y'all have a group of 3, so y'all can choose who you can choose who you want to read for in your group. So you
Do we
can
pull
choose
the cards now?
Yep, go ahead and pull the cards. Pull your 3 cards. Card 1 represents the anticipation of the holiday, what they were looking forward to about Thanksgiving, okay? What was their energy, their state, their mood, the situation before Thanksgiving? Card 2 represents the actual Thanksgiving day, what their experience was. And card 3 represents the aftertaste, after experience of the holiday experience. Were they glad that they did what they did? Were they happy they went where they went? Were they angry? Were they upset? Did they make a decision? I'll never go back there again. Did they say, man, I ate too much turkey and stuffing and pumpkin pie? All right. So what you want to do is for each card, we're going to focus on, if you can't remember the historical meaning, which I'm sure most of you all, can't, focus on, look for 2 to 3 symbols that jump out at you. For each card.
Are we supposed to have them up right now?
Yeah, did you turn them over?
Not yet. No. Okay. Now I'm doing it.
Yeah, we're gonna do it differently this week. This week I'm gonna get us through it. And then we're gonna go back in the group and share. All right, so look for 2 to 3 symbols that jump out at you. Maybe focus on, focus on 2 to 3 symbols in the card. Who can I use as an example? Who can I use? Who wants to? Tara, since you're new, you said you don't have your cards. Okay. Trevor, I'll use you since you came in late. All right. So what card did you get for your number 1?
The Hierophant.
You got the Hierophant. Okay. What symbols jump out at you? What are 2 to 3 symbols that jump out at you about that card?
Well, definitely a religious card, church, bishop or a high or priest. The pillars next to him jumped out at me. And the 2 bald-headed, subservient, I guess, lower priests that, serve him or whatever, that work in the church, whatever, All
right, let's start with the pillars. What does the pillars represent to you in your own experience? What are pillars to you?
Stability.
Pillars represent stability. Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, go back to another symbol. Find another symbol that you mentioned.
The headdress that the priest, bishop, or whatever is wearing.
Okay. What does that represent to you? In your experience?
Wisdom. Wisdom.
Okay. All right. Now, how do you connect that to the everyday human experience of someone anticipating Thanksgiving?
The stability of me being around family, being around what's familiar, people that you know, and stuff like that. The crown in terms of the wisdom, maybe that coming from older family members or older friends,
Okay. Very good, Trevor. Okay, now, Trevor, I want you to paint a picture using the symbols that you use. Paint a complete picture of what that person was anticipating before Thanksgiving, using all the symbols and the stuff that you have. Fill it in with color, illustration. Let your imagination go out and tell them what they were anticipating going into Thanksgiving. Make it beautiful for us.
Okay, my partner was Ife, and I think that you were looking forward to Thanksgiving to a point. The religious aspect of it, there are probably family members who are super religious and maybe on the other side of where you're at, whereas you might be spiritual and you're into meditating and crystals and so on, whereas these folks are into the Bible. It's about straight up Bible Belt type personalities, beliefs. And that can be a little contentious for you at times, having to deal with that, even though it's family and you love them. That's the part you're really not looking forward to, but it's family. So you're going to show and you're going to deal and you're going to kind of listen to, where they're coming from, but not really take it in.
Okay. Ife, if I say your name right?
No, Ife.
Ife, how did that resonate with you, what you were anticipating for Thanksgiving?
How did it resonate? It did. I think it happened a little bit differently, but yes. So it's like.
But was that what you were anticipating?
Is that what I was? Well, I did. I made the choice not to go see my family because I'm not feeling them right now.
Okay.
So, yeah, right.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I didn't want to deal with them, so I wasn't gonna.
Don't tell him more because he got to do the next 2 cards.
Okay.
All right.
So
right.
like, I feel like the bones of it were right, and then in terms of how it played out for me was a little bit different.
Okay. All right. Well, he's going to now look into how Thanksgiving played out. All right. So now everybody do that same process I did with Trevor. I want you each and all to each do one for each card. How your partner anticipated Thanksgiving, how they actually experienced, and what was it like afterwards. Make your notes or record it in your mind, and then I'm going to put y'all back in your groups. And I'm going to keep it open, so if anybody has questions, they can ask me. Does everyone understand the little format I have created here? I'm gonna put these. I'm gonna put this in numbers. This should be numbers. Oops.
Can I cheat a little bit and look up what some of these cards mean?
No, this is intuitive tarot.
Oh, Lord. Okay. All right.
But over time, you will be able to add your intuition along with the symbols that you're picking up. It is always good to use the symbols in conjunction with the historical meaning. But if you don't know the historical meaning, don't let that stop you. Go on to the next phase. Okay. Well, whatever y'all came up with, I'm going to put y'all back in your groups so y'all can share back again. Where my breakout rooms go? All right, I'm going to let y'all begin to share.
was doing it? Adam?
Yeah, that was me.
Oh,
Are you in two? You're on two lines.
am I? Now I can't hear the name, the room that I was in. And I hope they're not reading me because I can't hear them.
Yeah, I think you left them too soon.
I didn't do nothing.
Oops, sorry. You here twice.
I don't know, Adam.
One I see your video, and when I just hear you.
I had to dial in because my mic wasn't working on my phone. I mean, on my laptop. So now I'm
All
just
right, looks like
listening.
we're all back. All right, good job, everybody. Good job. Give yourselves a hand, you intuitive tarot readers. Woo-hoo. All right. So I only want to hear anybody who got a really big wow, like someone who got wow. Or almost wow. Or just felt like their reading was very on point.
I think you left some girls out, some two ladies out.
I think everybody's here. There should be 9 participants.
I only see 2 other people besides me and you.
You may have to
Okay, I
scroll
see it.
over on your screen.
Okay.
Yeah. Can you hear me, Adam?
Yeah, I can hear everybody.
Okay. Well, this is Tara. I wanted to talk about my reading because I felt like it was amazing. It was definitely spot on. My reading was done by Nicole. And so help me out, Nicole, as far as the cards are concerned. But the first card about what I anticipated for the holidays, Nicole's intuition, and the card that she chose, it showed her that I was traveling, which I was. I'm from Florida and I had to travel to California. And then the second card was about how I felt about on that Thanksgiving day. And she picked up that I was very sad and I was missing someone special and they were missing me, which is absolutely true. It was my first time ever being away from my family during the holidays. And then the third card was about how things were afterwards. And Nicole was able to see that there was a connection to that second card of me missing someone or someone missing me. And it was someone that I love very much and who loved me and missed me. And it was my daughter. I have 2 children, but one is an adult and one's 13. And I was really, really sad and really, really missing her on Thanksgiving. So Nicole's reading was spot on.
Good job. Hey.
So much. Thank you so much, Tara. And you were definitely helpful. Like I said, sometimes when you get readings or you give them, like, the person kind of just leaves you. Well, I've witnessed, maybe Addam on Blog Talk Radio where, the person would be like, I don't know anybody, let's say in the military or something. And then 5 minutes later, they tell them that they did, So, thank you. I'm so thankful to be here. I'm so glad I made it on tonight. And just thank you very much, Addam.
Well, you're welcome. You're very welcome.
Beautiful
Anybody
job.
else got a good wow or a good read that they want to share that they received? Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
I forgot the lady's name that did mine. Both of the women that were in my group were good. But the one that stood out to me was the first card that she pulled, which it had a boat and a man on a horse and a forest on it. And it was good because I had to travel for Thanksgiving morning. I got up early in the morning and drove to North Carolina. So, and then I felt like the forest in the background and everything was on point because I was going to the country part of North Carolina. So, I guess showing the man on the horse and showing the boat was, good with me having to mentally prepare to travel out of town. I thought it was pretty good. And then the next card she pulled showed, the but it showed the children and things that were around me on Thanksgiving, and there were, quite a few kids around me on Thanksgiving. So she was on point.
Very good, y'all. Very good. We're going to end class, but I just want to make sure that everyone's feel a little bit more confident this week. Do they feel a little bit more confident in just interpreting the card, releasing it, following the symbols? And again, every week we're going to get better and better at it. So here's my follow-up as I join each of y'all rooms. So here's my critique, everybody. Part of giving a reading is giving a reading. Sometimes y'all it's easy and it's tempting to give what I call a spelling. A spelling and a reading are two different things, okay? A spelling is when you just name what you see. You may be like, oh, they like me children. I might see this, and you just listing things. Just a spelling. That's not a reading, okay? a reading is when you make that complete picture like Trevor did in the beginning, and you set that picture up to that person. You don't even have to tell them what the card is. You don't even have to tell them. All you got to do is say, in the beginning, what I see you anticipating was the possibility of meeting your soulmate, and you had your book and your picture in line, and you were prepared to travel, and you packed your best dress, and you stopped by the hairdresser to make sure you were done up. You see, that was a complete picture, all right? And then you would say, on the actual day of Thanksgiving, I see you being surrounded by food, family, football, and I feel you ready to go outside and help cut down a Christmas tree. And after Thanksgiving, I'm getting the image and the feeling and the sensation that you were feeling so full that all you could think about was taking a laxative and getting that crap out of your body. So you want to be able to say a complete picture, all right? So next week when we practice, don't worry about telling them what the card was. You know what your images were. You got your symbols, and you just try to create a complete picture full of emotion, sounds, and feelings.
Gotcha.
Okay, y'all got that?
Mm-hmm.
And we'll work on that, and I'll be sure to hold y'all accountable next week that y'all are doing readings and not spellings.
Okay.
Okay? All right, well, are there any other comments or questions before we leave?
Yes, I want to ask two questions that I asked of you that I wanted to ask you.
Okay.
Okay, I've been practicing the daily one card a day, choosing a card at the beginning of the day, and then at the end of the night coming to see what it is and seeing if it resonated with my day. Only problem is that some of the cards that I've been choosing have been pretty detrimental, like death and, and I think it was the Two of Wands, which is disease, and some
what meanings are you looking up?
The devil, came up, and I'm like, so for a moment there, I went to bed kind of like not in a good space because I'm thinking, what happens if this really comes true? I hope that I'm really shitty at this point. I mean, but so I guess what I'm saying is it's kind of making me a little kind of taking it very literal at this stage, even though I kind of don't know what I'm doing, and throwing in a little bit of fear in there, a little bit of concern, and it kind of and worry.
Okay. All right, well, let me reverse the homework for you, Trevor. Let me reverse the homework for you. So for you, Trevor, I'm going to get you to look at the card at the beginning. Okay? And I want you to make notes about symbols and stuff that you see. And then as you go about that may not work for you either.
No, because then how is that going to develop my intuition if I know beforehand what the card is?
Yeah. Well, yeah, you're right. You got your car. The cars are all good. They're never negative. I don't know where you got the disease from.
Well, it can be that. It can be. The two of ones can be that. The death can be that. It can be changed as well. I understand all of that.
It was after your day ended.
Yeah. That's when I look at the.
So it wasn't that anything was going to manifest. Did you write down your emotional feelings and thoughts before you looked at the card?
I know them in my head. I didn't need to write them down, but I'm thinking like in the future, not happening within my day.
No, the cards only were intended for your day.
Okay.
The intention that we set is only going to show you. The intention is the card's only going to give to you what you experienced.
Okay. So I didn't die, so I guess I'm good.
Oh my God. I got a quick comment, if that's okay.
Okay.
So Trevor, Adam once told me to also, because I called Adam one day too, kind of feeling like you feel right now. And I would be like, but he told me one time to look at my interactions too with people and experiences also, like that might correlate to that card. That's going to help you remember when you're doing a reading. So when you think back, like did you associate that death card with your whole day, even people you talk to, or if you had to give some advice about something that helps?
Yeah, I do have a journal that I noted certain things did kind of one or two things, in terms of a little change here or there, or I was thinking about change. That's very much part of me now. I'm thinking about things I want to change on a daily basis.
Well, there you go.
Station. So that part was on point. But I guess I was thinking about the future in terms of what the card.
No, the card only represents.
Looking around the corner to be hit by a bus.
No, the cards only represents your thoughts, feelings, and emotions that you experienced that day.
Okay. That makes me feel better now. That makes me feel better. Now, the other question I have is in terms of the cards being reversed or just straight up. In terms of my deck of cards, if you turn the cards up